Senior Rotax is about to get ready. Looking forward to this one because we have seen drivers moving up the order and making good positions over the course of this weekend. One of so is your man starting on the front row, Spencer Braun, who this weekend qualified second, finished second in the first race, but then finished seventh in his second. And yeah, certainly came back in that one. So I am curious to see what he can do. Certainly a threat in this one. However, Harry Linden, you've got to unmute your microphone. There we go.
Harry Linden has been the constant in this category all weekend. P1 in the quali, P1 in the heats, and P1 in the pre-final. So he definitely has his eyes on that E-plate.
He does.
And he's the favorite, I would say, going into this race. Touchwood.
There we go. Oh, Harry, you've been put in danger now, I'm afraid. There we go.
I didn't say he was my favorite. I just said he's the favorite, a favorite.
That's still
a general consensus.
A general consensus there. There we go. Well, still there are many drivers in this one that a general consensus who could come away with it. It is an E-plate, however, so it is all down to that one. But the Dan Holland Racing team certainly do have a lot of experience here at the Whilton Mill circuit. The team based here at Whilton Mill, so where they certainly have a lot of intel, a lot of knowledge, a lot of data to back up their drivers to help push them forward through this field. So yes, a lot of drivers here looking forward to seeing what they can do. The same as Spencer Braun, the same as Leo Brown, and the same as Jude Fernahoe as well. Leo Brown has been on point this weekend as well. Keep an eye on Leo Brown. Not had a win just yet, but still eyeing one up as the rest of the grid gets himself primed and ready to go. The grids are ready. Senior Rotax, race 31. The E-plate is coming up next. Final race of the weekend gets ready as the engines fire up. Let's take you through the starting lineup. Harry Linden, can he make it another perfect weekend for the Dan Holland Racing team, the same as they did for Jacob Ashcroft earlier on? Spencer Braun starts alongside. Leo Brown and Jude Fernahoe go from row 2. Alex Duncan and Stefan Kazmarzik round out row number 3.
On row 4, we've got Evie Poulain and Jack Collins. Row 5 is Ollie Ward and Finlay Patterson. And on row 6, we've got Brentley Sims and Samuel Cook.
And at the back of the field, Tom Patterson rounds out the field. This is going to be a close race on this one. Looking forward to seeing what happens. We've got support on the live chat. UNTT says, let's go Jack Collins. Get the comeback. And that could possibly be done in this one. Jack Collins starting this one, the number 17, P8 out on circuit. And again, what we've seen drivers come through the field from P8 in these races this weekend. So, yeah, very curious to see what happens. But can Spencer Braun take this to Harry Linden? Can someone finally beat the DHR lockout at the front here? Into the tram lines. Lights go green. Here we go. Down in towards turn 1. Linden again. A perfect start. And Leo Brown follows him soon. Braun cannot get a good getaway. He gets swamped by the pack. He's dropped down into P4 as it looks like Jude Fernahoe maybe has got the move done as well as are coming together. Several karts involved and karts scattered all over the place. Jack Collins, one of them who's gone off the circuit there. More involved as well as they've gone off. It looks like Stefan Kazmarzik was one of them also. And potentially Ollie Ward also off the track.
Brentley Sims trying to drag his car back onto the track.
Yeah, the number 66, he's off the circuit also. So drama at the start of that one. And that's what we talk about, the first pinch point here at Whilton Mill.
Yeah.
Christmas corner. They all get loaded under braking and they all have to try and find a piece of track. And sometimes it ends like that.
Yeah, nobody gave an inch there, which ended in them all scattering.
Not what you want to see. So clear breakaway here. Linden and Brown fighting away from the rest of the field, but can Brown match the pace here of the driver in front? At the moment, the answer to that is yes. Can he maintain that? That is the question. After 10 minutes plus 1 lap, we will find out. But Linden, at the moment, is doing everything he needs to do. As into the pit lane there already, our first few retirements. Stefan Kazmarzik, Finlay Patterson, and Brentley Sims, unfortunately, all retiring from the final in these early stages.
Yeah, some big gainers from that incident. We've got Evie Pullane up to P6, Ollie Warden up to P7, Tom Patterson up 5 places to P8, and Samuel Cook up 3 places to P9.
Yes, indeed. So big changes all the way throughout this field. So keep a close eye on that one. But eyes on this one. I'm just keeping a close on there. The style that these two drivers have got, slightly different. But right now, for both of them, it seems to be working. I think there's a slight mistake there from Leo Brown. He's now found himself under pressure from Spencer Braun. Now, these two, if they're going to start scrapping, they need to sort it out sooner rather than later. They need to just get it done and try and work together now to close that gap. 'Cause if they don't, they're just going to release Linden. They do not want to do that. You don't want to do that in these one-off finals. This is a E-plate final. Ladies and gents, they are fighting for a seeded plate. And they need to try and work together in these stages to try and close up that gap. You do not want to allow anyone to break away. And right now, Linden is doing just that. Yeah. Harry Linden, just dominant this weekend.
He's got the fastest lap at the moment. However, Spencer Braun does have the fastest sector in Sector 1. So he's still holding on to the back there. And they've switched.
Yep. So Spencer Braun up to 2nd place now. So he's got the job done on Leo Brown. So now it's Spencer's turn here to have a go. And can he close that gap? So the gap's now 0.8 of a second as Linden takes another fastest lap of the race. He's got the clear air now. He's got the rhythm. He's not
outdoing himself.
He's just doing what he needs to do now. This is textbook driving from Harry Linden here. Exactly what he needs to be doing. And these two drivers here need to react to that. They need to try and find some form of pace that they can try and close that gap up.
Yeah, he's feeling very comfortable at the front there. Like we said, led every session. So feeling confident. It definitely will feel like a tall task for Braun and Brown to catch up to him. But saying that, they're only 0.65 seconds behind. So still a lot of time, still 8 minutes to go in this race, plus 1 lap.
Certainly is. Now, Spencer Braun has retaliated, 44-1-2. He is starting to break away now from Leo Brown, and he is bringing the fight to Linden. Now, Jack Collins, who is at the back of the grid after his spin, now takes the fastest lap of the race. So it just shows that the pace is all the way around, and the pace is on there for Jack Collins. 44-0 compared to the 44-1, a full 10th faster from Jack Collins there, but he is at the back of the grid. So he's got a few positions to gain from that one, but that doesn't take away he's got the fastest lap of the race. Yeah,
but even being at the back of the grid, he's not even 11 seconds behind the leader. So we've got this compacted race here.
Yes.
Top 10, all very close together.
Right, again, now retaliates a new fastest lap of the race, 44-0 as well. So he is starting to reel in Harry Linden. And again, over the course of this weekend, I'm pretty sure these drivers only get allocated the one set of tyres that they use over the course of the weekend. So again, it brings down to that factor. Who has looked after their tyres the most here? Has Linden, who's been at the front and not had to fight too hard, you know, has he been able to maintain those tyres well enough? Or has he been pushing it so hard to open up these gaps and win these races that he's used those tyres more? Granted, he's not had to defend, he's not had to overuse them in that aspect, but, you know, it brings those asking questions there.
Yeah.
Who's got the better set of boots?
One of the luxuries that Harry Linden has had being at the front that he's allowed himself is that he's been able to think about things like tyres and tyre management over the weekend.
Yes.
So that'll definitely do him in good stead for this race.
It certainly will. But right now, he just keeping a close eye on this one. The gap goes down to 0.3 of a second. Alex Duncan's moved up into 3rd place now. Leo Brown down into 4th, and Leo actually running a little bit wide there out of Inkerman's as they go down in towards the Ashby hairpin. Gap still 0.6 of a second, now 0.7 of a second. I think they've hit the wall now at the front, and I think either there's been some messages for Harry Linden from his mechanics to the side of the track. Oh dear, and off the circuit, that's a retirement. And the 36, Ollie Ward, race is done. And that just shows how sticky and hot those tyres are.
Yeah.
Look at them caped in grass.
Yeah.
You'd never clear those quickly. So
yeah, a lot of the drivers actually in Park Farming have been mentioning how hard the heat has been on them throughout the races, even though it's only short races, 12, 15 minutes, really struggling with the heat.
Well, we spoke to Stefan Kazmarzik, didn't we, in the paddock show, and he was actually saying that I've actually found it quite difficult this weekend purely because the track's so grippy.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is a challenge, and a lot of drivers actually prefer like a loose driving style where they chuck it into a corner, back steps out a little bit, you know, they can feel it moving around behind them. But when the track is saturated in rubber and it's super sticky out there, you'll find that, yeah, they turn and it's just like, boom, it will do exactly what you want it to do. And for some of them, they're not ready for that. So they're turning in early to think that it's going to scrub and understeer just that little bit while they go into the corner. And it doesn't happen, and it grips, and then they find themselves having to correct it, and then all of a sudden, yeah, it goes wrong. So, yeah, it's understandable that, you know, some drivers can find it a little bit challenging when the track is too grippy. But some drivers absolutely loving it when you've got it nailed and it's just driving on rails, isn't it? And there's nothing better when you get like that perfect lap, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's impressive that they've had so many different conditions this weekend, especially for these one-off competitions. Different competitors and a different setup potentially don't have their team around them that they're used to having. So all of these changing conditions they're having to deal with themselves and with their mechanics and really working through that. So it's an opportunity for a lot of these drivers to focus on the little details of their driving.
Yeah, exactly that. So, and again, we'll see that the gap again starting to come down just that little bit more again. Spencer Braun is reeling in Linden once more. The gap's gone down below 0.7 of a second. So again, it's just fluctuating right now. It's just going to be a case of who cracks first under pressure, really, isn't it? And for Linden, he's not cracked under pressure at all this weekend. No. So I don't think that if that's what Braun's waiting for, I don't think it's going to happen, even though now the gap's come down to now half a second. So it's come down even more now at the front.
It's definitely not as big a gap as we've seen in other sessions this weekend 100%. From Harry Linden. So
100%.
Braun's done a good job to keep on the back of him there.
Yes, indeed. So Harry Linden leads the way from Spencer Braun, from Alex Duncan, who's there in third place. Leo Brown from Jude Fernahoe.
Bless you.
Thank you. You know, when I did that hand gesture, that was, you Phil, I'm going to sneeze.
But you can still hear the sneeze.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. There we go. Like, we tried to play this off subtly. You know, it's supposed to be a professional broadcast here, and then
with the camera rolling as well.
With the camera rolling as well. Luckily, the camera wasn't on. 2.5 minutes to go. There we go. Oh, blimey. And still, Linden and Braun, that gap now down to less than half a second. Spencer Braun has pulled something out of the bag here. That CRG looking very, very strong in these later stages on these used tyres. The Lando Norris chassis not at full potential right now, I don't think. Both rad covers are up, engines being cooled as much as possible. Temperature high here, still 24 degrees as the sun still beats down here at Whilton Mill. Alex Brown breaking away in third place. Jude Fernahoe still there in fifth place as well, right behind. Evie Poulain just driving around in sixth place, is around 5.4 seconds off the race lead at the moment. Sam Cook's there in seventh place from Jack Collins and Tom Patterson. They're having a good scrap. Sam Cook's just gone up into seventh place, past Jack Collins and Tom Patterson, and into the pit lane actually comes Tom Patterson. So a retirement from his pre-final, and now he sees himself retire from the final as well. It's not been his weekend, has it?
No. I think you could say that for a lot of drivers, considering almost half the grid is retired.
Yeah, Ollie Ward retiring, Stefan Kazmarzik, Finney Patterson, Brentley Sims, all retirements from this race. And, you know, that due down to that big coming together at lap one at Christmas Corner. So you can be forgiven for that one, but still not what you want to see in this one. So it's all been down to really what happens at the front. And again, it's just opened up again. Braun got closed that gap so much, he got it down to less than half a second. Now it's opened up to 0.7 of a second once again. So it's just ping-ponging right now between the two of them, up and down as they just try and maintain the pace. It's just going to be down to, like I said it earlier, it's just going to be down to who cracks first, and I just don't think either of them are going to crack. So, no. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a stalemate, really, to the end of this one.
It's the same for that battle for P3. They're very close to each other, but the gap is not really changing. Alex Duncan holding on to P3 and Leo Brown in P4. Less than 0.7 of a second.
I thought you were going to start singing then.
I was doing quick maths in my head.
Quick
around 0.7 of a second between them.
So quick maths in your head results in singing.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, copy that. Right then, 30 seconds left to go, plus one lap. Braun once again is closing in. Spencer Braun, think? What do you want to do? Do you want to close in or do you want to drop back? What do you want to do here? Because right now it is just ping-ponging between the two of you here. Harry Linden has been a dominant force all the way over this weekend and has certainly done what he's needed to do. With 14 seconds left on the board, they're still going to have a couple of laps left in this race as they cross the line with 8 seconds to go. The last lap board will come out this time, and Linden and Braun, once again, fastest lap. He's holding on to it, 44.04. That last lap, though, Harry Linden was 0.2 a lap faster. And Braun again, the gap's opened up to 0.7 of a second between these two. Absolute fighting. DHR versus the Privateer. The Lando Norris chassis versus a CRG chassis. Just right to the end of this race, these two battling away. But there can only be one English champion, and right now it's looking like it's going to go the way of Harry Linden. One more lap to go in this race as the last lap board comes out now, and Linden just needs to maintain this pace now. Braun needs to pull a miracle out of the bag if he wants to try and close up on this one. Alex Duncan still there in third place. He's not having a drama at all, but he checks over the shoulder just in case anyway. Leo Brown is still there, but he's not fully close enough for an attack. Back at the front here, and Linden just looks comfortable as ever as he's opened up the gap to nearly 0.9 of a second now. He's only got a half a lap to go for this one. And once again, for Dan Holland Racing, it's going to be an absolutely dominant performance like it was for your driver earlier on, and it was just an absolutely brilliant one for all of them. But for Jacob Ashcroft and for Harry Linden, it's a perfect weekend, and it's 2 E-plates here for Dan Holland Racing. And for Harry Linden, the Welshman takes the E-plates, and he'll be delighted with that one across the line. Linden takes it from Spencer Braun. Duncan finishes in third from Leo Brown. Jude Fernahoe from Edie Poulain. Jack Collins finishes in P7 after going off the track and involved in that incident at Christmas Corner on the opening lap. He finishes in P7 from Samuel Cook, who finishes in P8. Tom Patterson, after gaining 4 positions, retires in 9th place from Ollie Ward, Stefan Kazmarzik, Finley Patterson, and Brentley Sims, all retiring from the race. But for Harry Linden, for Dan Holland Racing, after 18 laps, he is your English champion and will take the £300 voucher as well. He'll be delighted with that one. Spencer Braun finishes in 2nd place. He takes the £150 voucher. The nose cone check happens. Looks like Linden's gone through already. It's good for Spencer. It's okay there for Leo Brown. High in the mouth moment there, and it's all good for Alex Duncan. So it looks like your top 3 have gone through, and for the rest of the field as well, it is all good. A nice, clean, calm race for the field that finished it. A dramatic start, though, with the 4 retirements at the early stages of that one. But what a way to end the weekend, and a congratulations to all of the E-Plate winners here, and of course the Honda O-Plate winner, and of course the drivers who are competing in the championship for event 8 of the Wera Tools British Kart Championships here at Whilton Mill. We'll be heading down to Parc Fermé in just a moment's time to chat to our winners in that race, but I'm sure Harry Linden will be delighted. We'll head down to Parc Fermé. Over to Ailey, over to you.
We're in Parc Fermé for the final race of the afternoon, which was the Senior Rotax class for the British E-Plate, and I've got my winner here. Harry, how was that? You were so dominant all weekend, P1 quali, P1 in your heats, P1 pre-final, and a win. What do you think it was that gave you the performance this weekend?
I just think the grit and determination on and off tracks really helped us pushing forwards. Obviously, from the get-go, it was really fast, which is a really big bonus. I'm just happy to come away with the win, first one in a while, so let's keep it going forward.
And in a day like today, where it's really hot, it's really demanding on the driver, and Whilton Mill as a track as well is quite tough, do you think off-track really makes that big difference?
Yeah, just making sure you're coming off track, drinking lots of fluids, just keeping cold, and yeah, just make sure you stay and concentrate on the racing.
And have you felt confident that whole race that you're going to come away with P1, or were you looking behind you at all?
Yeah, all I knew was I just needed to stay confident, just keep my head forward, and then we'd hopefully get the win from there.
Perfect. Well, congratulations on such a good weekend. Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank the Dan Holland Racing, my mechanic Scott, and my dad.
Perfect. Well, congratulations again. We'll see you on the podium.
Thank you.
Hey!
All right, lots of hugs. Well deserved on this weekend. All right, we've got P2 here with Spencer Braun. How was that? Are you happy to come away with P2? Feel like you've maximised everything?
Oh yeah, really difficult race. Dropped to 4th at the start, back to 3rd, and then made a race 2nd, and then it was just about trying to chase him down. So difficult, but to compete against those boys out the back of the van especially, it's you can't knock it.
And was there anything you were doing specifically to try and catch Harry at the front, or did you feel like you were doing a good job just trying to keep on the back of him?
Yeah, it was so close. I mean, lap after lap, it was I catch, he pulls, I catch, he pulls. It was just about consistency, I believe. But at the end of the day, he won, and I couldn't quite catch him.
Still did a good job to come away with P2.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're happy with that. Who would you like to thank this weekend?
Oh, my mum, my dad, my sister, Peter, CRG England, Ogden Racing Engines, and everyone who supported me.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we've got our P3, and we do. How was that? Really demanding race. Can see it took it all out of you, really physical, but are you happy to come away with P3?
I am beyond ecstatic to come away P3. But yeah, it's first podium in British, and especially the E-plate, which is a great race, so I'm happy to walk away with that.
And what do you think got you that P3? Was there any parts of the track that you're particularly focusing on?
I think just like a pre-meditation strategy. I mean, my dad normally comes up with stuff like that, tell me get in the mood for the race, and my mechanic Johnna, normally helps me and talks me on the grid. So yeah.
And how was the track feeling today? Did the heat affect you at all, or was it feeling good?
Not at first. So the first half of the race was fine. I felt physically fine, and the last half of the race, I felt like my arms were about to fall off.
Not ideal, but you still managed to come away with P3, so congratulations.
Yeah, it's good to go drive all the way 6 hours back to Scotland.
All right, well, good luck with that. Who would you like to thank this weekend?
I'd probably like to thank most of my granddad for supporting me, for watching all the bad races to begin with before he gets to watch the good ones. I'm saying hi to him in France, who's on holiday. My dad for driving me 6 hours every weekend, and my mechanic Johnna for putting up with me.
Perfect. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
See you later. All right.
Well,
What a day.
what a day indeed.
Now you can experience how warm I've been standing in the sun.
It's not too bad out here, is it? It's lovely. It's lovely in the sunshine. We've been tucked away in the commentary box all day. Well, Rotax E-plate, the O-plate for Honda, and Event 8 for TKM and Bambino, done and dusted. Your first time here at Whilton Mill.
Yeah.
Round out, what did you think?
Very impressed. Good mixture of championships, but also opens. We've got the E-plate and the O-plate, so it was really interesting to see the different styles of racing between those and the different kind of driving styles that was brought out by the drivers in those ones. Some really exciting racing this afternoon. Overall, very good weekend, very exciting track.
Yes, indeed. And there's plenty more action to come over the course of the rest of the year, so make sure you stay up to date with it all. The next round's coming up, but just want to say huge thank you to everyone here this weekend, to all the Alpha Live camera crew who are doing a good job, even the cameraman who's holding this very camera here as well. He's been out here in the sun, he's got a lovely hat on as well.
Yeah.
But to all the marshals as well, the medical teams who are out there as well, and to the spectators and the viewers at home as well. Without you, this racing would not be exciting. Thank you so much for all of your comments over the course of the day as well, and from myself, Anthony, and Ailey here. It's been
Thank you as well for having me.
No, you
had a good time.
Good. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. And yeah, are you going to be at the next one?
I hope so.
I hope so. There we go. I don't know if I'm at the next one. I hope so too. But from us here at Whilton Mill, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. We turn our attention to Senior Rotax now, race 31, and of course the E-plate as well. Please welcome onto the podium, finishing in third place, just 3 seconds down the road from the race winner after gaining 2 positions, all the way from Scotland, and for our Argenti Motorsport, the number 63, Alex Duncan. Swapping the cap out now, good, good. He's aware of the procedure, he knows how it works. First time? Is he first time on the podium?
First time for British, yeah.
First time for British, there we go. First British podium for Alex Duncan. Henry would have known that, I don't because I'm useless. Anyway, we move our attention to second place now, and again, just finishing just 0.8 of a second behind our race leader at the end. Very, very close at the end of that race, but please welcome onto the podium the privateer, the number 65, Spencer Braun. And we've said it all weekend on the only CRG in the paddock. There we go. He gets good background for that one. He gets second place, a brilliant result, and his cap. We now finish with our race winner from Wales. After 18 laps of racing for Dan Holland Racing, it has been a brilliant weekend. He becomes English champion after starting on pole and finishing in pole. Please welcome the number 12, Harry Linden. We welcome onto the podium as well his winning mechanic, Scott Wiley. Please make your way up. Don't hide. There's Scott, who will collect his medal as well. A brilliant result. And Lyndon, who is trying his very best to grow a moustache. It seems to be failing just that little bit there. That helped. That helped. Perfect. A huge round of applause, please, for your Senior Rotax finalists. And again, thank you everyone for joining us this weekend. Have a safe drive home. Please don't drive like they did in some of those finals. Thank you so much.